Friends, let's break down what is going on right now in Trump Media DJT here. So obviously, this is for selective investors right now. I think, there's two types of people that are playing around with this stock right now. There's people that they see it as a get in, get out, get in, get out, take your profit, run, go, and be very careful about how long you're sitting in this and how deep you get into it. How willing and eager are you to allow yourself to sit in this before taking profit, because it's a dangerous situation right now. And then I think there's fewer now that what we're seeing right now where people are buying up this stock for the long term, and I've always been against that 100%, and I'll explain why. And this is not a video bashing Trump media. This is not a video calling people crazy for buying into it for the long term, but I'm going to explain why I think that's a very dangerous situation for you right now. And as a fellow investor, we're just talking here, and let's break this down, because I still think there's a lot of money to be made in this, especially in the next 16, 17 days, 18 days away from the election. But these next 2 weeks are going to be very, very volatile in the market, but obviously too in DJT here. So let's go right into it with what's going on. So the stock is trying to get to a 30 and hold it, and it's sitting there essentially right. We'll round it up here. It's sitting at a 30. Now, back on the 14th here of this week, the stock was running so hard. It was, and I've talked about this, so I don't want to go too much into it, but it was running with so much volume. It was trying to get up, and it made it up to like a 35, and they halted it. They made it up to $35. And they halted the stock, which is total bullcrap. And they've done this multiple times with this stock now, and it should not be allowed. It should not be allowed, because obviously it's being manipulated. But if it's being manipulated, let investors manipulate it. But obviously they have their rules, regulations, and all their crap they're putting out there. But the stock 100% is just a manipulated stock. You're not, and this is where I go into where people get mad with me that love Trump and love Trump media, and I get that. And I'm not bashing it 100%. I'm not bashing it at all. I'm 100% on the sidelines of people making money on this right now, because that's where your thought and your mindset should be right now with this stock. What is going on right now? First of all, we're seeing a big staircase be made in this stock. I mean, it's shooting up beautifully. It's not done by any means. It's probably going to hit 40. 35 is guaranteed, but 40 to 50 maybe could get to that, but there will be more after that. So right now with this stock, as it's trying to get to this $30 mark and hold it, but the problem is if it goes too fast, then it's going to get halted. So they're pushing it back. Imagine if it didn't get halted here this week. Imagine where it would be. It would probably be in the 40s by now, because it would have hit 35, it would have hit 38, and then it would have easily broke over 40 probably by Thursday, Friday of this week. So with that, the stock right now is moving on just the manipulation of investors, the zeitgeist in the air, the FOMO in the air. People don't want to miss what's coming. And right now, let's break this down. A lot of it is right now with what's going on in this 2 weeks until the election. Right now in the polls, and here comes more stuff where people want to come at me. Right now in the general polls, Kamala is ahead. That's just the general polls, and obviously where you look at polls, it's going to be a little more bias here and there, obviously, but just the general polls, just to make everyone somewhat happy, Kamala supposedly is up a little. But obviously too, we know that Trump is always ahead in the polls with his last two elections. So with that, the situation of that is, then we go into the betting average. Well, here's the betting average. The betting average, Trump is annihilating Kamala. I mean, he is just 100% just annihilating her. With that, once again, in the betting average, when that was like that in 2016, Trump was behind in the polls in 2016, but betting average, he was winning. So this is somewhat like 2016 again, where the polls, can we trust them? Not 100%. When it comes to the popular vote, Kamala's winning. The problem is it's all the unknown votes that are out there for Trump that they don't know about. Not to mention he's winning in the betting average, which doesn't say a lot, but it's saying, hey, a lot of people think this guy's going to win. It is putting Trump media up a lot. I think that the general consensus out there for a lot is like, even if people aren't voting for Trump, they're going, well, he's pretty close. Like and I see this comment a lot where people go like, I cannot believe how close it is. Why is he even this close? It's close. It's going to be this might be the closest race in the history of presidential races. I mean, it's going to be narrow margins through these swing states. It is going to be they might not even be able to name who it is for a few days after the polls close because it's going to be so narrow margin. I mean, it's going to be really close here. And early voting is just like in every state that's opening up early voting, they're seeing every state is breaking records right now. Georgia broke records. North Carolina broke records. I forget who opens this week with early voting too, but it's constantly that's what you're seeing coming out of these counties, these states, what is going on there with early voting. So Trump media, the zeitgeist of it is moving, but and that's, you take what you want from that information. I'm not saying it's right, wrong. I'm just showing you what we're seeing right now. This is how it is. So with that, on the investor side, where people are wanting to make money with it, what we've seen from this stock has no problem going from a $28 price point to a $35 price point within a day. We've seen that plenty with this stock. I mean, plenty. And pretty much this whole year, this stock played around a $30 range to a $50 range. I mean, that was the majority of this year with this stock, especially through January, through the summer. This stock was just giving crazy wealth to people who were willing just to trade, buy, sell. Now obviously the stock fell in September with the whole market took a shift in September, but now the stock is moving up once again. Obviously, I am not telling you to buy into this, but what I am saying is, me personally, I do think the stock will continue to run just off the FOMO of what's going on out there in the market. With that, here's where good news and bad news comes with this is my personal opinion about what's going to happen with this stock. Let's do the first scenario, the good scenario first. Let's do people that like Trump, that want this to work. They like Trump media. They want Trump to be president. Let's give the good reaction first, just to make people happy, because I think most people that are watching this are in favor of this company and Trump and all that. Okay, let's say Trump wins the election. Okay. Obviously, this stock is going to go bananas. It's going to go BEA, it's going to go crazy. Now, crazy as in $50, crazy as in $100, crazy as in $150. I don't know. Anything's possible because this stock has no rules. It has no regulations. The problem with it is that we're seeing it's just the stock gods, the people that control the market, halt it. They halt it, which is it's bogus. Now, obviously, this is a little different situation where, this could be the president of the United States the former and new president of the United States. His company, his talk, he could maybe tell them like, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I don't know. But I don't think but I don't know. We've never seen a president own a company before that's on the trading market. Like, we've never seen this before. So I don't really know. Is that even a rule with the FCC? If Trump wins, this stock will move hard, especially the week of the election, the first week of November here. It will run hard. No doubt about it. I don't even think 50 will probably be the low price of it. I could definitely see it going from 60 to 70 to 80, 100%, just because we've seen it touch that easily in the past without any kind of news of Trump being president at that point. So yeah, it could run hard here. There's no doubt about that. Now, Trump's president, where do we go from there? The stock may sell off a little bit going into December, because that's usually what we see in December. We see everyone kind of, sell their bags, kind of put things together a little bit, and then, we see some sell off in the market. Then this January will be different because we will have a new president in office. And of course, if it's Trump that wins, it will be Trump, and stocks will run. Now, this stock will run different because the guy who's the face of the company is now the president once again. So I imagine it will run again. It could run even harder in January. That's kind of what I'm expecting, honestly. November, it will run if Trump wins, but January, it will really run because then it's like it's solidified. He's the president. Here we go. Now, after that, I imagine the stock will slowly die down a little bit, slowly. But I think it'll be a very volatile stock after that, where it could, let's say in January the stock, let's just say it's at a $40-$50 range. Let's just say something simple, small. I don't want to get too crazy here. I could see it sell back down to like a $35 to $25 range. Now, off of that, there's going to be a divide with investors in there somewhere, where people that just absolutely love Trump and want to be a part of this are going to stay in it no matter what. They don't care about quarterlies. They don't care about debt. They don't care about vision. They don't care about any of that. They're just like, I love Trump. I love this. I'm going to be part of it, and I'm going to buy more of it. Okay, great, whatever. That's you. Go ahead. Not judging. Whatever, 100%. Go for you. And then there's going to be people that go, well, okay, if I'm going to stay in this, what are the quarterlies? How much cash do they have on hand? What are they doing with their finances? Debt ratio, margins, all that. Then there's going to be a lot of that conversation. What do they make pennies on the dollar here, there with quarterlies? What are the earnings going to be here? So that's where you're going to see really, when investing meets hype. And it may be dirty when it gets later into the year, but that's up. We don't know right now. Trump's got to win. We got to get into, 4 months from now. We're talking some time. That's a different conversation. That might be a nice conversation to have 4 months from now, but I can't say that's going to happen. Let's talk about the bad scenario here. Let's talk about the bad scenario. The bad scenario for this stock is, okay, you've got 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to play around with Trump media here, make your money, do not get too deep into it. And I will be honest with you, and this is not me being mean towards Trump media whatsoever, but I watching this stock and watching the last 4 years of the media and watching what they've done to this stock, this company already, the media, and obviously knowing who owns the majority of the media, whether you're Democrat or Republican, it's something that you have to admit to without being biased. They will, if Trump does not win this election, they will destroy this company. They will submerge it. They will blacklist it. It will not survive what is coming. So, if you were my personal friend, I would tell you to run out of the stock. I would tell you to get out fast as possible. It will more than likely, if Trump does not win the first week of November, the stock will bleed off, and probably by the 7th of November, it will be back down into like the low teens, if not $10, if not less, because investors will know it's over, it's done. With that too, the survival of this company is Trump being president. That is 100% of what is going on here, because this stock has not been running on quarterlies. This stock has not been running on, massive earnings, deals. It's been running on hype. It's been running on what if. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of money in FOMO. There's a lot of money in what if, hope. Some people in the world have made most of their money off the market, in the market, off of FOMO, hype. Anybody forget about, the GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, Dogecoin, all these crypto, most people that have made their money have been in things like that. So this is no different than those scenarios. Right now, do not get too attached to this right now. Do not get too attached. If you're buying this, let's say it's like November 2nd and this stock is running at $50, $45, maybe more, I don't know. Make sure it's money you don't need to pay your rent or feed your family. That's what I'm telling you. That's a friend-to-friend conversation. If Trump does not win this election, the company will be submerged in lawsuits. It will not be able to survive. They will come after Trump. They will come after people that are pushing it. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's okay to admit it's the truth. And Trump will just slowly fade into the dark as the former president. He ran 2 times after he lost the presidency, and they will just. He will never run again. So this stock will just slowly bleed off, and they will come after it 100% because they don't want it. They don't want it out there. So it is a huge risk to stay in this if Trump does not win this election. That's friend to friend. I'm telling you right now, be careful staying in this. So that is pretty much my bullet points on this stock right now. You got 2 weeks guaranteed to play around with this stock. Guaranteed 2 weeks where you're going to see massive volume in this stock, where you're going to see it go from a $29 range to a $33 range. It's going to go to a $25 range, back to a $30 range. Maybe it will break into some high 30s this week if it gets allowed to. It's hard to say right now because they're stopping it. Even when it gets going, they stop it. They're watching it. They don't want it to run. That's why I didn't want to talk about it, because it's like I would hate for somebody to get into the stock and then they step in and halt it. Like that's an awful situation. Friends, it's a risky situation. Obviously, it is a risky situation. There's money to be made in it, but be careful and don't use money that you need to feed your family or pay your rent, whatever. Make sure this is capital that you have, just like, hey, I can set this stuff on fire. I don't care, whatever. Because it's a dangerous situation, 100%. A lot of the money that was made in it has been made, and these next 2 weeks it's the end of the race until we see if the race is going to go on or it's just going to stop. I don't know. Friends, I wish all of you the best of luck with this situation. I know a lot of you are in it, a lot of you are pushing it. It's going to be a crazy 2 weeks in the market. I cannot even imagine what we're about to see here in this market. It is on high. It is running further than it's ever ran. S&P 500 is all-time high, and still bad reports out there, wars around the world. Don't trust this market. Don't trust it. Friends, take care. Bye-bye.